Okay, Sky, it's Carner Jax next, right? He is my best pilot. And he performs a Goigrum turn, which is a cunning three-dimensional space maneuver, which brings him up over the top of the Millennium Falcon and flips him around.
Flip.
He does, he totally flips because he's a badass Imperial pilot.
But you can't flip anymore because you have stress.
He'll have stress, but you know, right now he's pretty impressive because he's a badass Imperial pilot and his guns are at point-blank range on the Millennium Falcon. You're going to be toast when I light you up in a second.
Dad, has anyone ever told you you're so predictable?
Okay, so Goigrum turn.
Oh yeah.
So you're
Your
flipping...
plans are ruined.
I wouldn't say ruined, but...
I heard it in your voice. You're just like, oh yeah, I'm so... Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm not point-blank range anymore, but I'm going to shoot you any minute.
Yes, but since I have the highest attack ability, I get to shoot you first.
Shoot ahead.
I'm going to use my lasers first.
Okay. Is that Luke Skywalker on the lasers?
Yeah.
Okay, so you get how many dice? 3 red dice?
Yep.
And I with my epic pilots. Let's just check the range, by the way. The range is 2. Yep, that's close enough to 2. And I'm not focused, but don't you get to roll dice again or something? Doesn't Luke Skywalker?
I can change these into damage though.
What, really? That's what Luke's... No, you can change one of those.
One of them, okay. There we go.
Okay. I only take the 1 point of damage. Okay.
Okay.
So I survived.
Oh, so that's surprising. I'm also going to use my concussion missiles.
Okay, so how many dice are those?
I get 4 dice.
Okay, 4. Does Luke Skywalker get to re-roll the dice on this as well?
I think, yeah.
I think so, and you can also
change one of my blank results to damage.
Oh wow! Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. And one of your blank results becomes damage, right? Yeah. So you do 2 damage, 3 damage,
3 damage,
and I have 1 dodge. No!
I'm victorious once again. Bye.
Big explosion on the map right there. Damn it!
Oh, we're so sad for you.
So yes, what you just witnessed is parts of life and death in the space of X-Wing Miniatures game. So yeah, X-Wing Miniatures is this veritable behemoth of a game. From Fantasy Flight Games, it came out a few years ago in this original X-Wing Miniatures game box. Now this box you may be seeing on shelves, store shelves. It's about $25 I think normally. And it comes with a couple of X-Wings and a TIE Fighter. These are beautifully detailed little models here. And they're individually painted. And basically that's what you move around the map. You get TIE Fighters, you get a couple of these. And then of course that's when the spending really starts. Because then you can buy things like the Millennium Falcon, another $30. You can buy these Imperial Guard, the Elite Squadron, the Imperial Aces, that's another $30 for that. $15 for a ship, up to $100 for the crazy big ones, such as the Tantive 4. But the game, the game's gone through several iterations, and the current one, which is more easily available, is the Force Awakens version, which replaces your classic X-Wings with the T-70 X-Wings, the ones that have the kind of weird hemispherical engine intakes, which of course make total sense in space. So the rules, the way the game works is that you have your cards that you've bought for your pilots. They all have pilot skill levels. Now, before the turn, both players have these little maneuver dials, right? The maneuver dials they have all the maneuvers laid onto them, right? So you'll select that secretly what you want to do. You'll select your move secretly. You put the discs down, upside down next to the target, and then the turn starts playing out, and it starts with the least skilled pilot. So the least skilled pilot flips over their maneuver disc, and then they have to move it around using the rulers. Now after that, they might get to use other skills, and so on and so forth. So that maneuvers all happen at the same time, and then everybody starts shooting. And the shooting goes in order of highest pilot skill first. So while I may be the first person to maneuver with my crappy Academy or Zeta Squadron pilot in this case, I will be the last one to get to shoot because my skills are weakest. Now, the spacecraft you get on these little cards, there's 4 factions I have here. There's actually 5 factions that are available because there is Imperial, Rebel, and then there's the Resistance and the First Order, and then of course there's the Scum and Villainy. So this obviously has First Order and Resistance, and this is Rebellion and Imperials, but truthfully, if you're just playing with friends, you know, you can quite happily mix your Rebels and your Resistance and your Imperials and your First Order. So yeah, the cards, they have a certain cost, they have certain special abilities that, you know, let your spacecraft maneuver. For example, after turning, this one can do what's called a barrel roll, which lets it make a little adjustment to its maneuver afterwards. If it's been forced into a bad situation, that could be good. They can focus, they can bring up targeting computers. Other abilities, for example, are Biggs Darklighter. He has the ability to, if somebody is shooting at somebody near Biggs Darklighter can take the hit for his friends, which of course explains why he's the one that gets shot instead of Luke Skywalker in the trench. As the game goes on, your spacecraft, they get knocked down, they get damaged. You get cards from the damage deck, things like a loose stabilizer, R2 can see if you can lock it down again. You get direct hits, control thruster damage, cockpit fire. Like, these really can up the stress on your pilot. And also the maneuvers. There's some regular maneuvers which are white. There are green maneuvers and there are red maneuvers. Now the red maneuvers, they give you stress, and if you have stress, you can't do another red maneuver, you have to do a green maneuver. So a hard, stressful maneuver might be something like an Emelman turn, or what's called a Koigram turn, where you step your spacecraft forward and flip it around. And that is, of course, very useful in dogfighting if you've got somebody on your tail, but that puts you under stress. It means you cannot use your other abilities. And so perhaps that person on your tail is then able to close in for the kill and take advantage of that moment of weakness. We have this nice little range ruler in the packs, double-sided incidentally, green on one side for the Imperial, red on the other for the Rebellion. You know, it's really a nice little kit, but it does get very, very expensive. So your spacecraft they have various skills and abilities, and you can then also get these upgrade cards, right? So upgrade cards also cost points. You can get droids for your X-Wings, you can get weapons guidance systems, various other upgrades. You can turn your regular YT-1300 freighter into the Millennium Falcon just in case you don't want Han Solo or Chewbacca firing it. You can get crew on the Millennium Falcon, engine upgrades. You can have Nin Num as your co-pilot. Or you can get assault missiles if that is your thing. So yeah, the spacecraft that you actually get, they come in these nice little packs. And they come with some nice art at the top. For example, we have the Millennium Falcon can either be flown by, in this case, Lando Calrissian or Chewbacca or Han Solo over here. Notice they all have subtle different artwork here, right? So this is Chewbacca was flying it when he picked up Luke Skywalker from the Bespin City, and of course Lando was flying it during the Battle of Endor, and that's him just escaping, despite the fact the original script decided that he wasn't going to make it. The models themselves, of course, are beautiful, and I can see why people spend a lot of money on this game. These individual models, they'll come with a few cards, they'll come with a few upgrades, and they'll cost about $15 each. The bigger sets, such as Millennium Falcon, that'll be like $30, and they come with not just the cards, but they'll also come with sets of new rules. They'll come with some missions for you to play. So you don't just play these skirmish battles, you can actually play very serious missions using it. And it is just this epic sinkhole of cash to spend your money on right now. So, word of notice, incidentally, between these two sets. Right now, this one, the original set, is kind of out of print, and you will pay a serious premium if you want to get the X-Wing miniatures, the red one with the classic X-Wings, with Luke Skywalker and Biggs Darklighter and everyone. The Force Awakens version is a whole lot easier to get, and you'll probably pay regular price. And I'm going to point out the Force Awakens version is also newer, so the manual comes with all the new rules and it actually comes with some new missions and some new features. And hey, the First Order TIE Fighters are actually better than the regular ones, so it's a bit more of a balanced game early on. So yeah, I know you may want this one, but you're going to pay a whole lot extra until they reprint it. And I expect when they reprint it, they will bring the new rules over to the old set. Maybe they'll have some other cards. Apparently, Biggs Darklighter is quite a popular card because of his ability to draw fire. But there's a whole lot of other cards that people look for. Scum and Villainy are apparently considered to be a little OP right now. Rebels are considered to be rather boring. But, you know, if you're just playing with friends, you can balance it whatever way you like. It's ostensibly a two-player game, right? So I like to play it with Sky or with Orion, but there's nothing stopping you from splitting the team up, right? Having Sky control the elite Imperial units and giving Orion the Academy TIE Fighter pilots. And then I'll take Han Solo and the Falcon and a couple of Rebel X-Wing escorts. You know, you can play it whatever way you like. You can create whatever adventures you like. I think it's actually good to buy a couple of sets because they're pretty good value compared to the regular miniatures, and you're always going to want to have more X-Wings and more dice. As for expansions, the sky's the limit. There is so many places to go, so many models that you can have. They have covered obviously the first, they've covered 4, 5, and 6, right, movies. They've covered Force Awakens. They also include a whole bunch of the extended universe, and they're including spacecraft from Rebels. What they haven't done, as far as I can tell, is cover spacecraft from the prequels. There's no Jedi starfighters, at least as far as I can tell, at this time, although that may change, because after all, they make a lot of money printing these spaceships, or making these spaceship models. Yeah, X-Wing miniatures game is something that I cannot recommend enough as a great pastime for you and your kids, assuming you are prepared to start spending money. Even with a couple of spacecraft, the battles are, you know, surprisingly well balanced and can be really intense. Even one X-Wing versus 2 TIE fighters, there can be amazing rolls back and forth in terms of the power balance. And with very large battles, it's really quite impressive how large battles with dozens of spacecraft on each side frequently end up with like just a couple of spaceships just duking it out and dodging their way between the asteroids, trying to stay alive and trying to eke out a win after all their friends are dead. This is a great tabletop game, and you should absolutely get it if you like that sort of thing. I'm Scott Manley. Fly safe.